No one remembers the rules.
Yeah. Okay, ready?
Wait, all three of us are going?
Three ways. Wait.
How do you do?
Wait,
It feels like this is a dumb idea.
maybe it should be just you two. You
No. Three way.
Okay. Wait. That's why it doesn't work with three people.
How have you all survived level 12?
Oh my god.
Now, I love Critical Role. The show was a huge inspiration for me when I first got into D&D a few years ago, and my fiance and I still watch it today. But every time we watch it, we get distracted by all the times that Matt or somebody else on the cast either messes up a rule or doesn't remember something simple that they should know by now. And if these literal professional D&D players can't remember the rules, can anyone be expected to? Well, yeah. I do get it because they play for hours on end, and for me, just after the first hour or so of DMing, I start to slip up a lot. But here's the twist. This video isn't just a rant about Critical Role, or about how difficult it is to remember all the rules of D&D. It's about how the rules are never what we remember about our games. Let me explain. 5e is a great system. It's what really introduced me to D&D as a dungeon master, but it is complicated. Yeah, maybe not so much compared to 3rd edition and 3.5 where I started, and it is easier than similar systems like Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2nd edition. And one day, maybe soon, D&D 5e will definitely be overtaken by the popularity of 6e, and later 7e, or maybe just a time when D&D loses its monopoly on tabletop RPGs and everybody is just playing different games. And even then, when you're looking back, reflecting on the awesome gaming memories that you have, you won't be remembering the system. Nobody finishes a session of D&D, gets up from their table and says, "Well guys, that was great. I'm really impressed how everybody was able to distinguish grappling from restrained this session. Great job." No. Instead, you remember that time your barbarian was just throwing kobolds into the red dragon's mouth, and one of them was a kobold explosive expert, and the bombs he had strapped to him blew up the dragon's head, and you all walked away victorious. No one remembers the rules. You remember the times you kept the rulebooks closed, went with your gut, and turned that moment into something epic. So if you're a new DM and you see the approximately 600 pages of rules in the core books and get a little overwhelmed, that's normal. You are not beholden to those books, and trying to be so will even take away from your game. Experienced DMs, you know what I'm talking about. I know I've been through times when I've realized that this rule is getting in the way of what I want my players to be able to do right now. So it's okay to loosen up and to homebrew and to experiment and to keep those books closed. That's what you'll remember about your game, and that's kind of what I try to do on this channel. So if you agree, be sure to like this video and subscribe. It really helps me and the channel and the whole community here, who are all just people trying to have more fun playing D&D. Now keep building.